Yes, I know I should write an intro, but I'm not going to make a joke about it because we're on. Listen, I've woken the cat up. Welcome to freedomslips.com. This is Revolution Radio, Planet Collingwood. My name is Monty Dean. Studio for those, well, if you're in elementary school, what the hell are you doing awake at 2 o'clock in the morning? But hey, in this wacky world, it's kind of weird. So just hang on, I'll just need to get some atmosphere. Oh, there we go. That's good, squishy. Welcome to Planet Collingwood. A big thank you to Why Not and Co. for the last 2 hours. The Y Files, the unofficial name of said show. And because there's a 30-second delay, I apparently am getting a sound check from the chat room. But we'll get to the chat room. El momento por favor, which is Spanish for dear God, stop speaking like that. If you enjoyed the last 2 hours with Why Not, go to freedomslips.com and or revolution.radio and donate what you can. Click on the Patreon and give a couple of shekels here. Audio is good. Excellent. This is an audio medium. And also, I'm half naked, so if it's visual, ladies, gentlemen, you'd be throwing up. Hey, Santo. Just gone to degeneration. It's one of the worst intros you've ever done. I'm talking to myself. Yes, I know. Shut up. Keep going. Please donate to the station because we're 100% listener supported and 100% volunteer. And gee, I'm right near the end of my cigarette, so. Oh yeah, good.
Flavor country.
It's one of the Carolinas, the third one. Well, anyway, smooth Carolina taste. I don't have COVID. I smoke. I checked out, symptoms of COVID, and 80% of them is if you smoke. I'm like, shite. Anywho, let's just move on. Please donate to the station so you can keep Studio A and B up on air with fantastic information and wonderful people. This is a comedy show, so you can skip this bit if you want, or if reality's getting a bit harsh, we'll make it mellow. So we'll, instead of harshing you mellow, we're going to mellow you harsh, which is a very not how to say hash. Add some hash to the well, yeah, afterwards. I'm not going to come on stoned again. I mean, the last time I passed out, woke up and ended the call. It was a 13-hour round table. Good times. At least 5 years ago. I've been here a long time, and for good behaviour, I've only got 2 more years. Once you're at the website, once you've donated, pop into the merch page, buy some t-shirts, caps, and many onesies for the little ones, and then pop into the chat room, which is going off like a frog in a fry pan. There's frog on a snail. I wonder if that's an acid-based reality. And Mace 139, or is it Mace Street 139? That should confuse the alphabet agencies. I'll put my address in. That will stuff them up. Hello, FBI. G'day, ASIO. And, we're just going to ramble and talk because I'm sure 1 or 2 things happened in the last week. And I've been joined by a fellow Victorian, and I think he's a pureblood, which is ironic because he's a little horse. Pony, are you there, sir?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, calm down. You're going to hurt yourself. And we're also... G'day.
Oh, whoops.
And we've been joined by Cortek. I mean, it's a surprise for the listeners, clearly, because he's only spoken 3 times. But
G'day.
And it has been 5 to 6 years. I really should say hello, server. The server's here as well. An integral part of Planet Collingwood, because realistically, if the server wasn't here, Paines and Cortek and I would be just having a conversation.
So we're having a conversation with each other,
yeah. So be careful what you say on the internet. Well, I go live globally and it's recorded. I'm fine.
Didn't want to go on. No, not you. No, not me. You.
What?
We wouldn't talk.
Our first Biden moment. What?
Come on, man. It's going well so far.
Did you hear? Everyone saw it.
What?
He got his second wind.
Right.
I thought it had to be some kind of fart joke.
Well, of course, yes.
It's after the first one, of course.
Yeah.
Hence
Well,
the
I think.
second.
Yeah, I think Camilla's still talking about the fart that he did in front of everybody. So and in
Wanna
the
know
chat
what
room, in the chat room.
Possibilities are.
Well,
She was
yeah.
president for 85 minutes.
Yes, actually, someone. Have you seen that there's a meme and it's a chocolate cake and it looks like a chocolate starfish, which is code for bottom. And it's done the rounds. Why am I thinking runs? Sorry. It pops up on the internet occasionally, and so someone shared it like, oh, this cake's a bit interesting because it's a chocolate cake and it's just got the right snowflake right in the middle. I'll say it that way. A lovely design where it's like that looks very like a part of the human anatomy. And I actually put it up. Was this baked for Kamala Harris becoming president for 83 minutes, or because Biden got a colonoscopy? I'll let myself out.
You click the GIF and she poops out.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Well, it's like I mean, Katie Couric on the NBC Today show actually had a colonoscopy live on air, so I'm more impressed with that than
Oh
Kamala
my
Harris. Yeah, and
Gee.
as you can see, there's just there was a sheet, so you didn't actually see it.
Yeah, but I'm sure you got to see her expression on her face.
Yeah, as apparently whoa, and it's inserted
So we didn't see
now.
snake cam.
I can't remember if they showed the inside of it or not.
One would think not.
Well, who knows? Sorry, my fellow. Oh, and a quick happy Thanksgiving to our American cousins, because this is technically an American station, so we should acknowledge the United States of America.
Happy Turkey Day. That's what it's about,
yeah,
isn't it? Killing turkeys?
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's what it's about. I know as much about that holiday as I do as with other carryover holidays from past generations that make no sense.
Well, I think it was invented by Abraham Lincoln. It's like, well, I can't do. I don't know how Abraham sounded, so I can't do. I
think he sounded Russian. I think he had a Russian accent. So just
407 years ago today, our forefathers came together and wrote Constitution.
I think that sounds right.
Yeah, of course.
Something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure we're upsetting somebody, but I don't care. You cannot get here.
It's for the killing of the turkey this day today, and forevermore we shall just kill the turkey.
But I did market research. Killing Turkey Day not play well in Idaho. So what we call is we thank the givings of the turkey, because the turkey.
Yes. Then you pluck it.
Yes, don't do like my friend Abraham, my friend Cecil, and got that the wrong way around and didn't hear pluck correctly.
Correct.
Cecil.
Yes. Now the thing is, like Thanksgiving, I think Canadians have something similar. Or it's like, 4-day weekend, let's go. But the rest of the world, because of the power of the United States' economic strength. So I just realized that's at the end of that sentence. That sounds funny with how the economy actually is. But we have Black Friday here, and it's not a BLM protest.
The name seems. I mean, I don't want to jump off that last statement that you said, but the Black Friday is kind of negative sounding, isn't it? Is it, or is it, or is it not? Or all metal fans going Black Friday? Yeah, finally we get a day for us. You know?
No, it's the same as the Boxing Day sales.
I know, but where's the name come from?
Who knows? You keep you in the black.
Financially in the black thing, yeah.
Yeah, it could be that. Because I think the idea is to get rid of the old stock as the Christmas stock comes in, because it's roughly a month before Christmas, if the boats were allowed to get into port. But moving on.
I've given up Christmas. I've given up Santa.
Yeah,
I'm moving it to the 20th in Australia and doing summer solstice. In the upper hemisphere, or in the other hemisphere, you could have winter solstice, but it puts some meaning back in it, apart from Coca-Cola.
Yeah, well, technically, we should actually celebrate Christmas in June, because it's a pagan festival. It's about the winter solstice, but of course we're Australian, so we celebrate the winter solstice at the summer solstice, and you wonder why we're messed up as a race. But also getting back to you have Thanksgiving Day, which is the Thursday, where everyone eats way too much and tries not to bring up religion. Oh, actually, they'll probably bring up religion because politics is way off the charts now. Then you have Black Friday, where it's you get you can buy a fridge for $1. Then on Monday you have Cyber Monday, and that's where on the internet
I love
you have
Cyber
deals.
Monday.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense because it's like, why Cyber? Because it's an American-based thing. So,
Say that again, Cortek.
I love Cyber Monday. Ooh,
I love a bit of Cyber Monday.
Ooh, I love a bit of cyber.
In Cortek's house, it's fapping day. Yeah. Anyway,
it's Fap specials.
Fap specials. I get 3 OnlyFans for the price of 1.
A bit of space news around this week. Lots of people talking about this and that. A few chats about this and that, the same old thing, and a couple of people talking about new stuff.
Dart just launched.
Wow.
Like an hour ago.
Thank you, Pony, for actual information. Because Cortek, you spoke for about 15 seconds and didn't say anything.
I see to the idea of stuff.
Well,
it was a segue into real content.
Right. Thank you, co-host, guest, fired, unemployable. No. Just pick a label. God King Emperor. There you go. That's your label for today. I did see a headline. Elon Musk's debris field is heading towards the International Space Station. I'm like, oh, this is going to end well.
Didn't that already happen?
Who knows? Probably. Our atmosphere is so full of crap.
That's what they complained about in the first place. And the ISS had to get into their escape pods just in case. It's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but if you've got a nut the size of a Malteser traveling at 37,000 miles per hour, that's going to do some damage, my friend.
How the hell do they dodge all the debris that's up there in the first place?
Pretty
assuming they are up there.
Don't open the question. Don't open the conversation that wide. But
big attic.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they should. Hey guys, I just had an idea for a business.
Fire the retro thrusters.
Yeah, all we need is to get into low Earth orbit. Apart from that problem, this will work. We should collect all the space junk in our orbit so things are slightly better.
Well, we need to send robots up there. Is that the one that you saw that went around in circles and just shot up? Is that what you're talking about? Because there's some other dudes. I think they were Australian. They had this kind of a rocket basically on the end of a stick, and they wound it round heaps of times, like as if there was a giant person there. We built this model of a giant hand, and it thrusts the shuttle into space. It was kind of like that. So they spin it around lots of times. There's no fuel. There's no rockets going. Okay. They spin it around, let it go, and it just goes into space.
I think you shared that. I didn't click on it, but I saw that. But also, I'm getting a bit of I'm getting some Zap Brannigan vibe from you today. They make a big hand and they go round and round and round and send.
Kind of like that. It's kind of like that. You know, it's using the centrifugal force instead of rockets.
I defeated the Killbots because
I've seen that on. Remember Beyond 2000? I seen that like in the late 80s and 90s. But it looked like a orange juicer shaped saucer type that they would spin from the bottom.
This one's full rocket.
Some quick background for our listeners outside of the United Australian States Federation Commonwealth shithole. Here, because we'll get into what's happening here, because our premiers seem to be injected with fascist Nazi genes, and they're losing their collective minds. It's fascinating.
I think he got
No, we're not there yet. No, we're not there yet.
New South Wales trait of fascist genes, and I think he's just had everyone.
Smacks.
Ow.
Smack and finger wave. Yeah. Down, Cortek, down.
I treat for you.
Take the smacks, but don't do the finger waving.
Yeah, you want some smackos? Because you'll get smacks.
Don't bring me my slippers now.
Yeah. And this time dry. What I'm going to point out is it was Beyond 2000. That show actually started. It's a scientific show that showed new inventions basically, and that show started on the ABC called Towards 2000. But the calendar caught up, and so then it became Beyond 2000, and it moved to Channel 7. So just little television history for the.
I love just go back to the spin thing. It's kind of redundant when you get into the electromagnetic forces and aspects like that. So the idea is plausible, but it's not. It wouldn't be logical to fulfill if you could get into that electromagnetic field world.
Well, it's like Leonardo da Vinci with his version of a flying contraption or a helicopter, where they try to build. Like the idea looks good on paper, but practically, no.
Yeah, he had wings on his propeller, didn't he? Like he
was going for VTOL. He was going for VTOL 2.
Yeah, it's like I'm tired of all these UFOs, these spheres of glowing balls. I want to leave this planet.
So we're gonna have the Force going in a Y direction and an X direction at the same time.
I'm gonna leave the planet. I'm surrounded by idiots, so I'm gonna leave my plans.
I want to get up first. I want to get out of here.
Yeah.
He obviously didn't have a space capsule on that design because he hadn't got up there yet,
Oh no, he probably did. He actually probably designed a free floating space capsule that can actually leave Earth's orbit, and he's probably past Saturn by now.
He probably designed the ISS.
Yeah, but better. But he left. It was a massive troll of all helicopter. This will freak him out 400 years later. Fun times. Now, let's talk about fascism in Australia.
Which bits?
No. Where do we want to start? Because
at the beginning,
I buy my fascism at the op shop.
Ooh, I get rejected from going to reject shop now.
We're screwed, man.
Not really.
They're tightening the grip and.
Yes, but if the federal government pulls their finger out and federals, they may actually get rid of mandates. But who knows? This is the fun part. At this point in time, we had a senator who I think she's an independent. She seemed okay and was for people, but I think she got paid off or is possessed by a demon. Because
it happens.
Did you see Jackie? Is her name Jackie Lambie? I know it's Lambie, but I think anyway. Senator Lambie. She's obviously had a bad day. Well, she's basically Pauline Hanson brought into the Senate a bill to stop mandates because they're discriminatory. They discriminate. Yeah, and Lambie went nuts. Like she looks like, is this Exorcist the remake, like, or The Exorcist 4? Oh, because you don't. And it's like she.
What were her grounds of negativity about something like that?
Basically, you have to have a license to drive a car, because you can choose not to have a vaccine, but you do it because it's being a bloody adult or something ridiculous like that. And so the way that it was put forward is like, kids, walk away, don't make eye contact.
Another one bites the dust.
Yeah, and then you have, I think, because Northern Territory is not a state. I don't know why they're not state. Haven't got state level yet. I don't think there's enough people.
They just wanted to be different. We thought, fine, be different. Fine. What trouble is it going to cause unless everyone wants to rattle things off in a row and there's one different and they go, why are they different?
What's wrong with it? Well, the Chief Minister of the Northern Territory has basically had a spaz out as well. And he starts yelling at the camera saying, if you're against the mandates, you're anti-vaxxers. And just gone from there. It's just like there's a lot of anger, and someone actually put there's like a minute and a half speech of him ranting and raving, and someone put Hitler from one of his speeches right next to it. And it's like, well, that's scary. But at the same time, I think they're in hard lockdown. But the Australian Defence Force, i.e. the Army, has gone into these isolated Aboriginal communities and forced vaccinations on the Aboriginals and grabbed a lot of them and put them into quarantine camps.
Oh, now, it's just like when we grabbed them and put them into primary school.
Yeah, well, no, it's worse because they're being jabbed with experimental gene therapy, which is not actually a vaccine that may or may not actually help you beat COVID. But be on this station, that sentence is like, well, we've been hearing that for years.
Yeah, it's not a surprise. I'm sure they're not too happy about it, but what they can do?
No. Well, no, they're in hard lockdown and they're in houses and there's no electricity. And so they're in their house with no air conditioning at 40 degrees Celsius, which I believe is over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And then the army turns up, either jabs you or takes you away to a quarantine camp. And it's like, yeah, didn't we say sorry for this about 12 years ago? It's continuing on, so.
Not cool when they go for the weakest of minorities. Not cool.
Well, no, because I think I think the 3% of the population, and they're ostracized. But in short, you need to have a treaty with the Aboriginals because it's that's what's done. We could argue about colonization, invasion, and genocide. Harsh words. However, there were more before the Europeans turned up, and now there's less. So the numbers have gone down. There's been massacres. There's something called the Frontier Wars, which they don't actually acknowledge in Anzac Day, which is our Veterans Day here in Australia. And basically there was a war. They lost. They were conquered. Now the next step's usually a treaty, but there still hasn't been a treaty. And so in a certain way, there's a war from the Australian government and the Aboriginal nations.
Yeah, it's just manners at this point, isn't it?
Well, basically, yeah, just have a treaty. And I've seen elders of Aboriginal tribes. A lady in Brisbane that has I can't remember where she has a radio show, but it's like having a treaty to heal that wound. It's not about blame. It's closure for everything for like the 238 years, because the Australia that we have now is not the British made it and all the everyone who's here is an Australian, and we created the Australia we have today. So it's more of like, that stuff that happened about 200 years ago. Should we end that? Kind of put it.
I think it's super, super important going forward to heal these things, not to ride roughshod over them, Oh, yeah. 9/11 didn't happen. Forget about the engineers' report. Blah 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 blah. Look at this.
Well, and also we can how about treating the Aboriginals as equals? And so, they get not preferential treatment, but the government tries to buy their favour, because there's like Aus study and there's Ab study, and if you're an 8th Aboriginal, you get stuff from the government, which is basically saying, we're kind of sorry, but we don't want to say that publicly, so we'll just give you stuff. And of course, most Aboriginals go, yeah, right.
Yeah, nah.
Nah, sorry. And then they might, like most people, I've been Clint Eastwood's very popular in a meme section in the last week. Most people just want to be left alone. Just leave me alone. If you do no harm. And the Aboriginals that have a wheel, it's like, yeah, but they were caretakers of the land for over 80,000 years and didn't destroy it that much compared to the 200 years with the wheel. And we can see that the Great Barrier Reef is slowly dying. You're digging a lot of holes for rocks that could be refined to blow everything up. Little things.
Damn you, wheel. There's just no escaping the circle, is there?
Well, that's the ironic thing. It's like, they didn't invent the wheel. Well, guess what they do when they sit around a campfire? It's a circle.
Talk about wheels.
Yeah, it's like they don't need a wheel. They had a different form of technology, more spirit-based, where they could they could move 200 miles in a night because they did the right ritual around a campfire.
What's the deal with Native Americans and the stereotype that Native Americans were given back land and then they made casinos on them? Is there any truth in that? And does it help?
No, well, I mean they're pushed onto reservations, but there's like now.
It can't be a positive thing. It's like pokies.
No, well, this is now. See, now we're entering to a part of history where an American should be here, but it's like the Trail of Tears, where I think it was the Black Mountains. I'm sure. Please, someone politely point out what I'm talking about. But they were given, oh, these are the mountains, and they go, oh, there's gold in these hills. Oh, right. So all you natives leave. And they were just treated like complete.
Take these here blankets. We'll swap you these blankets for the mountains.
And I like that. It's like, how these blankets were full of smallpox 200 years before germ theory was created. But still, it's just history's completely shite as well. So.
Just a fun story to tell around the campfire.
Yeah, and what else happened this week? Kyle Rittenhouse is free. He's already met Tucker Carlson, Donald Trump. He's doing well for himself. At the same time as well, I forgot. I can't remember his first name, but a gentleman called Mr. Coffee. Yes, his name's actually Coffee, an African American chap. He was let off of. He was acquitted as well because in 2017, a SWAT team went to his house and started to break in, and they didn't announce themselves. And so he woke up, thought he was being broken into, and popped off a couple of shots, as one does, which is very, you're allowed to do that, I believe, in America, because, Second Amendment, like, mother lovers are coming through the window. And so he shot outwards, and then 10 SWAT people shot inwards, and when the dust settled, his girlfriend or wife was killed. And see, I'm only knowing little bits of it. However, he got I think it was labeled as self-defense as well because of the scenario. He wasn't the instigator, he was defending. Now, I've only seen that in a meme. It is true, but the media is not touching it because he's a black man. It's the white man that you have to worry about. It's Rittenhouse. He crossed state lines with a gun to hunt black people. He crossed state lines is the only truth in that sentence, because his family lived in Kenosha. His mum lives like 5 miles from the state line. His dad, who has a business in his family, and he goes to Kenosha all the time, is 20 miles away. The two or three guys that he shot actually came further to come to Kenosha, and they've never been there before. Type, it's compounding, and basically, in short, it shouldn't have gone to trial.
Sounds like a cluster.
Yes, a cluster love. See, mother lover, it's just working the mind there. And also, there's a bit of misjustice because I think a 19-year-old African American woman, she shot and killed her abuser, pedophile, and was thrown in jail for 400 years or something like that. And it's interesting to see the quality of people, because they're actually trying to get her out now. Because, like, where's the justice for her? There's the angry side on the left going, well, look, a white man gets off and the black girl has to stay in. But there's a lot of people that have brains and critical thinking. It's like, okay, the white man got off because it was self-defense. Now let's try and save the black girl because of, it wasn't a malicious intent and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Instead of making well, my dad's better than your dad type thing, it's more of like, well, okay, that's actually justice. So how can you justify the misjustice for this?
You can't.
No. I just, for those, for the alphabet agencies, that's a fascinating sentence. He got justice, now justify the injustice. I said justice 3 times.
Computers are starting to smoke.
Yes. Good times.
Mm.
No,
I thought they were going to lock him up. I thought they were going to do it for a future play. I was wrong about that. Interesting, though. I was confused. I was thinking I was trying to think like a black guy, and so he got off, white guy who shot people. Well, do we riot? Is this our guy? Do we go? Yeah. I think they were confused too, mate.
Well, yeah, and also there's a lot of people. Like, I saw a tweet. Unfortunately, they blanked out the person's name, and I can understand why, but I'm sure they wouldn't care because it's on social media. But it's like, I'm very far right, but even I know that it was self-defense, and just went through the points, and at the end it was like the media lied to us, because even I think it was the Independent. They actually shared a headline. Carl Rittenhouse, who shot 3 black people, goes free, and everyone's like, Tell me you didn't see the trial without saying you didn't see the trial, and they got lambasted for it.
This big story, you just got to take it with a grain of salt and believe it to be fake from the first get-go until the evidence stacks up in your mind that maybe it was a real deal story, and then you can see how they manage it after that. Like this car guy, at first I'm like totally fake. Yeah. AI, no one got hit. They're having a Christmas parade before Thanksgiving. Is that normal? I don't know. And so, but then I saw the damage on the car. I saw footage of what seemed to be a body, but it was blurred already. They blurred it. And I was trying to find YouTube. They obviously got rid of Live Leak at some point. So I don't know, but a bit strange right on the heels of this story. They flip it. Other stories.
Well, the media is also turned out to be the enemy of the people again, because a car has plowed through. It's like, well, was the car upset? Did it have a bad day? Like,
was it thinking it was in the field? It does kind of grab your attention quite. It's a unique thing to happen around the world. It's happened before.
Well, see, now this is just the comedic brain, the creative part of the brain. It's like, now this is totally made up. I have no evidence. It's not even a theory, but no one else has sort of mentioned it. He could have just the driver got angry because Rittenhouse got off, and so he decided to just run down white people. I don't think that has any water. It's not that, but you know what I mean. That could be what. Yeah. Well, no, it's not the spin. Strangely enough, because I'm the only one who thought I haven't seen it anywhere. It's only me, but it's like the timing of it's very interesting.
Yeah, a string of things that they give you the power by you putting it together. Not you particularly, but the masses.
Yeah.
Like,
or it might want to look like that.
It's with the only Muslims hijack planes. So when it happened, they ask a question: do you reckon it was Muslims? And everyone went, yeah, because that's what we've been taught to believe. So,
I think it was Babylon B or another parody site actually said, we won't find out the identity of the driver until they can figure out how it's white supremacy that a black man driving a car.
We won't find out the real facts for 50 years.
Pfizer's doing that. Can you please share your data from the first couple of months of rolling out your vaccine?
Sure.
Yeah, in 55 years.
Next century. That was part of the clause that your government signed.
These stories could be real. God bless the dead if they've passed, And
yeah, they are. Because there's a young child actually passed in the last 24 hours, and there's a couple of more. I think they're technically brain dead, so they're being kept alive on things.
SIDS again, huh?
Yeah, Well, I wonder if they're COVID. Anyway, it's very similar. Like, we had something similar happen here in Burke Street, and there were people saying, "Oh, yeah, this one guy who's in the United States, just put together that it's totally fake and it didn't happen." And it's like, yeah, it did, because there's funerals and bodies and blah blah blah, and there's footage, but this is all totally fake. And it's like, no. Of course, the one in Burke Street, he was being followed by government official people anyway, and then allowed that to happen. And yeah. And you've also got how do you say Maxwell? G. Maxwell. I can't say her first name. Ghislaine, whatever. Her thing starts, I think, tomorrow.
Well, it's about time something happened there. So where's she been in the meantime? Like locked up or under house arrest with a little ankle bracelet or something?
Yeah, she's been in custody, and
sure, she's been doing it tough.
I've been sharing a meme. It's one of my favorite popular memes on Twitter. So someone liked it. Let me just pull it up for you so I can say it. It's the meme. It's from the movie Identity Theft, which is no, that's not the right app. Jason Bateman and someone who's not funny. It was a bomb, but you'll notice it when it says. But the meme is corporate media : we're going to distract everyone from the Ghislaine Maxwell child sex trafficking trial. Mean lords : the frack you are. And up to 86 likes and 24 retweets. no comments. So I'm doing my service today. That's how we're saving the planet, ladies and gentlemen. One meme at a time.
I think it's something to keep an eye on.
I'd call her Gauge Maxwell. She's like a gauge. So those who are in that world sort of are looking over their shoulders more.
Mm-hmm.
As people are sort of named and shamed, but nothing's ever done. So it's like, oh, be careful, don't say anything. You know how it works. So
yeah, and I think because of Epstein, security would be much better than what he had.
Not beyond them to disappear you and make a fool, like a piano fell on you, They make China to be the real aggressor at the moment, taking people off the street, disappearing.
Yeah, but that's what they do as well. But they're ramping it up.
But that's why I'm suggesting that why she hasn't been disappeared is because there's a play involved here. It's more than
she became too much of a public figure too, so she would become.
She wasn't a public figure until they said her name. No one gave a crap about
No, but
when she got arrested,
she was caught. There was memes flying all over the place saying, Ghislaine Maxwell suicide, and it kind of felt it was one of the first ones to go further than what was in reality at that time, and it seemed like it made a difference. It was one of those first ones.
No one knew about it until you read a meme.
No, it kind of said that she'd committed suicide already because everyone really kind of expected it. So it made her more of a public figure, and everyone was watching that. And so to off her then would make her more of a whatever it's called. I forget the term.
Yeah, and I think now this is like not
another Julia Assange. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, it's that whole thing. People are like, oh, the New World Order, and they control everything. No, they don't.
No one does.
Remember, they're ruled by psychopaths and run by idiots. And now a psychopath's just a high-functioning idiot. And so, 9/11 is supposed to be the New World Order kick in, and here we are 20 years later, and like, oh, it's not working.
I'd say they understand the holographic aspect of this universe and manage the flow of it.
How full retard is Dan going there?
Oh, we'll get to that in a second. I actually shared a great joke about that. But there are white hats compared to the black hats, and so there is like a behind closed doors, a civil war, and they seem to be like they with bunny ears are actually they're panicking in a way because they're on a very tight timeline and nothing's working 100%, and so they're inching forward, but we're in that weird energetic time where even the Great Awakening, even if it's just politically the awakening to the amount of corruption in the political system, it's a start. It's not the end, it's a start. And so there are dare I say good people. Yeah. I use that loosely, but they're fighting against the insane nut jobs that want to kill 7 billion people and all that type of stuff. And also, I had the thought in the last couple of days by talking to people that, the vaccine's going to kill everyone. Yeah, but these are idiots, and they'll be and they would cut corners and they would make their vaccine cheap, and so it doesn't. When I say the vaccine doesn't work, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do on the box, and it doesn't do what it's nefarious supposed to do as well. Oh, they're going to kill everyone. No, I'm sure there'll be health issues. But they're idiots.
Technically, it shouldn't be called a vaccine.
Well, it is. That's right. It's gene therapy. Hello, blasphemous Buddha. Nods. So just BB's in the house, y'all.
Nods.
Yeah, because that's my thing with. I just put BB brackets, nods brackets. I just can't be asked typing at the moment, so I'm just doing it over the air, which I can't nod on an audio medium. Right, I could try and hit the micro. There you go.
Something somewhere could be doing voice.
So as New South Wales, because I knew the latest information that I've got from New South Wales, it's filtered onto my radar, is once once New South Wales gets to 95% vaccinated, you still have to wear masks, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks, and now it's 89, week 89, and it was Freedom Day, whenever, and then that's pushed forward, and
kicking the can down the road.
It was 80%. Wait till we get to 80%. It seems like we'll start to say more than that if what they're reporting, and it's just gonna keep on going until people take it back, I think.
Well, yeah, it's getting ridiculous where Gibraltar saying that incorrectly. They're 100%. I think they're nearly 100% vaccinated, and they've cancelled Christmas because they've gone back into lockdown. Like, okay.
I don't think there's anything wrong with cancelling Christmas.
Yeah. It's still, if you don't look at the religious side or the commercial side, it's still a family. It should be Christmas every day, where families get together, feast on really rich food, and give presents to each other. You're telling me that's cool. A bad thing? Yeah, that's
that sounds cool.
Yeah. So the Jewish. We don't celebrate Christmas. Well, you got Hanukkah, which is roughly the same. It's the family getting together and sing, be merry, joy, and all that type of stuff.
I think we should take it back to pagan stuff. Back to pagan stuff.
Well, see, the church did that about 2,000 years ago. They just looked at all the holidays and was like, these pagans have got a pretty good calendar, so we'll just put all the Christian holidays on the pagan ones.
Religion is like the new Star Wars. It's kind of it's the same franchise, but without all the good messaging. The first Star Wars, you could walk away with the Yoda stuff, going, that's kind of good. The latest Star Wars, nothing in there.
There's no spirituality in the sequel. No, there are people saying no. The best Star Wars movie ever, the most Star Wars movie is The Last Jedi. It's like no, because that's completely different from the other 7 films. How can it be the most Star Wars film when Star Wars: A New Hope, the first one in '77, would be the most Star Wars film?
Kylo Ren, worst casting ever. Finished it.
The emo with a glow stick, yeah. Oh. That nice Jewish boy. In my parody, when I'm going to overdub it, I'm going to, if you remember Ren and Stimpy, when Stimpy's very upset, I'm going to do that voice for Kylo Ren. Just like a depressed teenager.
I haven't seen Ren and Stimpy in so long. That was so good.
Yeah. And gentlemen, I'm just doing a casting call. I'll probably get you to do voices for me as well.
Sweet.
Because I have to write 3 bloody films and do all the soundtrack. So I'm gonna I'll get Cortek to do this character for me.
That sounds cool. Yeah,
especially in Australian accents.
Voices.
Yeah. All right. Quick. Voices. Yeah. Well, audition, my friend. Audition. Do a voice. Yeah, actually, yeah. Now I've got to find a character to. Maz Kanata could.
Yeah, we don't want to get done for copyright.
Well, no. See, the thing is, I'll be releasing it free because it's going to be full of copyrighted stuff, and there's no way I can get all the clearances, and Disney won't like it because yeah. I give it away for free.
So it's a scary movie on tape.
Basically, yeah. It's just there's no point of trying to release it because Disney will shut it down instantly.
Oh no, not another podcast.
So yeah, I could see it. I could see it going up on the torrent sites because if it gets thrown off YouTube or Odyssey or BitChute for copyright claims, but it'll be a project for love. And it's like a show reel. So from doing that, hopefully
about internet things like megabyte dates kilobyte, modem hangs out with fax machine and so on.
You mean we rewrite Tron?
Toy Story.
Ooh, Toy Story as well.
Toy Story in an home office setting.
I've got an idea for a movie. What? Okay, think Tron meets Toy Story.
At home. Just the things you'd find in the home office.
An evil quantum computer tries to take over. Oh, that's that's actually happening.
How's your day been, fridge?
Yeah, I never understand. Why is the fridge connected to the internet? I mean, what? Yeah, it's 2 a.m. I need a glass of milk. Oh, look, the internet's here. I'll quickly rum one out. Like, really?
The microwave is like, is it hot in here?
It says IoT, a little bit more networking power for stuff, isn't it?
I don't need my white goods to form a union in my house.
They already have. Remember when there was that massive IoT hack? Massive, and they all showed to be so easy to just take over. And then it was like, okay, we've tested this works. Keep it quiet. Next thing, no, what's happening over there? Look at this.
Yeah, I've seen it was on YouTube. I saw a video. Someone actually hacked into like a Lexus. I don't think it was a Tesla, but it was like that level of the latest. Like a Lexus, which has got 17 computers in it and all that type of stuff. And they just used I'm going to go ABC and not mention a company. They had a tablet. and they hacked into it and started driving the car, like through the iPad. And like, oh, that's not scary. That was around the time that is it Paul Walker? He died.
Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it? That was super weird.
The timing of that was interesting as well.
So for the story to come up at that same time as well, that is.
Yeah, because it's I think Breitbart. There's a couple of conspiracy theories to that. Like, his car was hacked, and that's why there was an accident. It wasn't his fault.
It was a pretty souped up car. I don't know. I had crazy reports that I don't know. The car looked ridiculously destroyed for a street accident.
Yeah, and so I'm happy with my 2003 Astra, where there's enough technology that I have air conditioning, but I don't think they can take over the steering.
I'm not happy with that whole being able to take over the car business.
No, it's like this is also it's part of that whole it's. Have you seen that meme about Demolition Man, the movie?
No, which one?
It's basically pointing out that Demolition Man is turned into idiocracy, where it's turned into a documentary because people just laughed at, oh, that's just that dumb action movie. But if you watch it again, you'll notice, wait, that's now. Where if you swear, you'll get if you say poo or penis, because your voice has been tracked and recorded, you get a fine for saying a naughty word.
I might have to watch it again.
You watch it again, and you'll see what I mean. I mean, it's a young Sandra Bullock, so that's pleasant on the eye. Sylvester hasn't really got into the roids, and Wesley Snipes plays a nutter quite well. And
blonde hair.
Yep, with the blonde hair as well. And for the English watching audience, that's the country, not the language. Nigel Hawthorne plays the villain. He was Sir Appleby in Yes, Prime Minister, for those who are aware of what I'm talking about. He's a fantastic actor. He actually played King George in The Madness of King George III. Now, in America, that was called Madness of King George because the marketing people thought, why would we go see the third one? We haven't seen the first two. Yeah, stunned silence.
Fair enough.
Spartan.
Fair enough.
And Snipes plays Simon Phoenix.
Yes, and who's the guy that ripped off Bill Hicks? The asshole song. Dennis Leary. He's in it as well.
Who does he play?
Edgar Friendly. He's the leader. He's the leader of the resistance. Right,
because there was people starving, wasn't there?
Because they weren't part. Yeah, they weren't part of the system, so they lived in underground, and they weren't part of being tracked and everything else like that. Yeah, basically, yeah. So yeah, if you want to, it's not predictive programming. It was more of a subtle warning, because I don't think that.
I don't know. 93.
Yeah, but I think. Yeah, and was it used from the dark arts, where they play by the rules? Where we showed you in '93. I think they just let it through because they thought it was a dumb Sylvester movie. But I mean, even Rod Schneider is in it as well. Yeah, comic relief. So
to me, it was a message.
Yeah.
Beyond predictive programming, it was just between a couple of mates. Send this movie, send this message, decipher it, you'll get a roadmap for the future.
Yeah, 1984.
Yeah. That's what
it's
probably both.
Yeah, David Icke says, I don't know if David came up with it or he saw it and borrowed it, but 1984 was a warning, not a blueprint.
It's amazing how close it seems to be want to be followed as any kind of idea.
Oh yeah. It's like certain scriptures, which the word script
artist,
isn't it?
Perfectionist, Monty. If it's not perfect, throw it away.
Yeah,
it's got to be perfect.
Yeah, which is to be perfect on this planet, you have to have a flaw. That's how because it's Earth.
Stand on.
You can't be perfect because if you attain enlightenment, you can leave. That's the thing, because this is a college. Once you know everything, it's like, oh, see ya. I'm going back home. A tourist calls me. So yeah, and that's the other thing was like the cancel culture is like, oh my God, Pony said something in 1945, let's cancel him. It's like, really? What is wrong with you?
How old was I then?
It's a joke. It's not supposed to be. Oh yeah, fact check a joke. Well done.
It's supposed to develop jokes, bro.
See, also, I remembered as well. There's a lot of jokes on Planet Collingwood. Some of them happen to be funny.
Come on, there's two of them with me.
Well, see, hey Cortek, did you see?
That's what you should have said.
Cortek, if you let me, freaking Cortek, we're just mirrors for Pony because that's how he sees his reality.
All right, what do we have to do?
No, he thinks that we're jokes and we're just a mirror. So he's actually looking at himself because we're all one.
Yeah, well, you know, we can't do it without everyone, can we? Jokes aside. Oh,
as Hannah Gatsby said, just jokes. It's like, yeah, but your jokes are sexist because I can prove it too. Just replace man with woman, and let's see how far you get.
Did you see the person who was protesting Chappelle's latest stand-up has quit Netflix?
Yeah, one for the team.
Really, yeah.
Did you see the footage? Yeah, no, like I need to feed my kids, or hamster, whatever. But did you see when they actually they had a stop strike? You know, when they a snap strike, and they're protesting at the front of their building, and I think he's a comedian. He actually turned up. He was basically saying, "I support Chappelle. They're just jokes or they're funny or something like that," and he had a placard. And two people ripped his placard off, and he was only holding like the stick to hold up the placard in a nanosecond. Look, he's got a weapon.
I got him.
Yeah, because just 3 meter or not 3 meter, 2 meter, 6 foot long pole, balsa wood or something like that. But they ripped off the sign, and then their mentality is like, look out, he's got a weapon.
What did the sign say? Everyone have a great time or something?
Yeah, something. It was positive basically because it's like they're just jokes. They're just jokes, mate.
Yeah, people are funny.
Yeah, funny, haha, and funny, strange. Hillary Clinton's funny, strange.
What's she been up to, do you reckon?
Oh, who cares? Well, she said something about she's changed her mind on cryptocurrency. It could destabilize nations, and I think Tim Pool said, "Good, that's what it's supposed to do."
That's the idea, I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, you and your central banks. Good times. So, from a New South Wales point of view, Planet Collingwood representative Cortek, what do you see Dan doing?
I saw Dan being talked about by another kind of overseas kind of dude.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I hadn't really seen a lot of the footage that they had collated, and it's basically, it seems like Dan's going for. Apparently, there was another. There's been marches every day or whatever. Melbourne's been really amazing in showing kind of.
That's right. That also happened in the last 7 days. We'll get to that in a second. Yes.
But just that he's trying to pass a law, and this is what everyone got out for. That was basically means that he can indefinitely call a state of emergency. He can detain people for indefinite periods, and there just seems no oversight on it. It seems ridiculously Orwellian, and I don't know how he's been allowed to get away with it. You know, I don't know why he didn't leave office when everyone else did.
Well, because he's a psychopath, and a lot of people in Victoria support him because they believe that COVID is worse than Black Death, Ebola, and the Spanish flu put together. Pause number 2.
Yeah, no, I know. What happens? What happens if he passes it? I mean, it's crazy.
Well, the thing is, there was a massive, I think it was Freedom Day marches across the globe, and Croatia, Italy did it as well, where to show how many people that they had candles and they put plastic cups so the wind doesn't blow out the flame on the candle, and it's at night, so I think they try to turn off all the lights, but you can just see it's like the Milky Way is probably looking at Italy going, oh wow, I've lost weight because there's so many lights. It's another mirror joke. We're halfway, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to Revolution Radio from slips.com. This is Studio A, Planet Collingwood. I'm here with Pony and Cortek. I'm Monty Dean, and we'll be back after this very short break. Boom, 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 boom. I like watching porn. See, well, that's almost pandemic man. Oh, no, I've got a villain. For I am pedantic man. Dun, 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 dun. Welcome back to Revolution Radio Studio A. This is Planet Collingwood. We're silly on purpose. That's what we're doing. All right. My name's Monty Dean. I've been joined by Cortek, and in the corner there, chewing on some oats, is Pony. Just a lot of horse references. You're lucky that we skipped over Melbourne Cup quite quickly, Pony. So just saying. If you enjoyed the last hour, please go to said website, freedomslips.com and or revolution.radio, and donate what you can within reason. $5 here, 50,000 there. We don't accept children. We're not the elite. But we do have we don't have an island. No, we don't. And then pop into the chat room, and they seem to be entertaining themselves, and but they are listening to us as well, because Blasphemous Buddha put up the Dennis Leary film clip for Asshole.
BB!
So, yeah, BB nods in the hoose. And I just, Blasphemous Buddha is just a really fat man yelling at kids. It's great. Oh, yeah, it's hot here in Australia, ladies and gentlemen. It's summer's decided, all right, I'll turn up then. I don't know. Is it raining, Pony, where you are? I can't really tell. I know it's like, what's the... Yeah, oh, now it's 20 degrees. It was 27, and it's got showers. No, try and take the microphone out of your mouth.
Is it broken, is it?
It sounds like you're eating chips.
Does sound like chips.
Yeah.
Is that better?
No.
I'll be back.
That's better.
Oh, yeah. Or not.
No, that seems fixed.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I twisted the wire.
Yeah. 2021 and nothing works, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a throwaway society. Apparently, according to the boffins, the global narrative, we're the height of civilization on the planet.
More and more, I'm seeing reports of shortages. Oh, there's a global chip shortage, or there's a global this shortage, or...
Yeah, well, that's it. There's that false scarcity thing going on, and also the mandates, and so they're firing people, and then they wonder why they've got staff shortages.
Let's fire everyone and jack up the price.
Well, there's that as well.
No more Doritos.
I need my corn chips, man.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's like our health system may be swamped. It's like, well, why did you fire everyone, you twang? So
maybe you should have thought of that.
Yeah. Oh, well, they didn't. It's like the CEO of a United Airlines. 93% of our employees are vaccinated. Yeah, because you fired everyone else.
We've got Bill and Jim over there. They fly the planes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we did have 4,000 employees, but now we've got 100, and 93 of them are jabbed.
It's a good way to get good stats, low sample rate.
Oh, well, I mean, 98%, no, what is it? 78% of statistics are made up, but that's a 50-50 chance.
40% of everyone knows that.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's fascinating going on. We had mass protests. We also had Now you actually have a show after me now, don't you, chaps?
Not officially.
Right.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Still in talks.
Negotiations continuing. Only because we actually had the full moon and the eclipse. Some lovely photos of it, and of course everyone's feeling very testy. And so it's fun driving, especially in Victoria. And on top of that, everyone's really getting a bit aggro, which is Australian for aggressive.
Pent up rage.
Yeah. As well, I mean, you've got all the 2 years into a pandemic and they're just clamping down harder. Have you noticed this pattern? More lockdowns, more cases, more deaths. More lockdowns, more cases, more deaths. And then you have Florida is like, we were shut down for 2 weeks. We're fine. They're actually letting ships in and unloading. It's very, very weird. It doesn't go.
Have we noticed that?
Yeah.
You asked if we noticed that.
What's that noise?
Oh, he's near a sink.
I was rinsing my coffee cup.
Oh.
Got a long night ahead.
Yeah, Pody's mobile, ladies and gentlemen. He's doing a tour of his dwelling.
My stable. I think I'll be going solo tonight.
Oh, you're fired, Cortek.
Well, no, did I put my foot in it earlier?
What are you talking about?
Okay, we've forgotten already. Wow, goldfish.
Where?
What's up this end? Alligators. What's down this end? Electric eels. What's up this end? Alligator. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, I shared a great Simpson meme. I don't know I've seen it because I stopped watching after season 20 or 22. I stupidly watched an episode from last year and like, wow, remember when this was a comedy show? But the meme was it's Homer sitting on the couch with Lisa and Bart, and Homer says, "Come on, Lisa, you have to you put all your faith into the government." And then the next panel, him talking into a lampshade. That's what I do.
There's some such good bits.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Mad Magazine only good till about 86, and they started repeating themselves. Same kind of thing.
Yeah, they don't exist anymore. They've folded, unfortunately.
Pun intended.
No,
Hey,
but I'm glad.
but
Nice spot because it's the fold in at the back.
That was the best
irony.
bit.
Yeah, because those artists were very intense. I wonder if they actually fold the canvas to do that to make sure.
I remember visiting someone's place and they had those magazines as a kid. So all I remember is that and those little side.
The tiny little margin comics.
The outside of the comic box.
Yeah, that was sweet.
That were good. I think I don't know if I still have them or I got rid of them. I had 1 or 2 cracked, which is the opposition to Mad, but it was just silly. Like they would do just parodies.
Was there?
Yeah, and there was I think it was Don Martin. Oh well, there was just another Mad magazine, but they called it Cracked, and they did the same thing.
I think I've still got a collection of those. I ended up giving away my Hot Wheels, but my Matchboxes. But I think I've still got the Mad magazines. Good decades worth kind of thing.
Read them again if you still have them, because it's not Dean Martin, different entertainer, Don Martin. I remember him. The only one I can think of right now is Quick Jenkins, like 2 archaeologists at Easter Island. Okay, Jenkins, let's see what's the secret of the Easter Island heads. And they dig down and they're playing ice hockey.
Nice.
Yeah, so they're 50-foot statues with hockey sticks.
I wonder if that probably gave the idea of the people to actually dig down and see that they were full bodies. Well, I got this crazy idea, Bill. I used to look at Mad magazines, and why don't we just dig down a little bit around the edges and see what they're actually doing? They could be playing hockey.
I confiscated a comic from my son, and I had to go to the toilet, so I read it on the toilet, and here we are today. Get your shovel. Here's a side note. Gimli, David Rhys Jones, I think his name is. He's in Sliders. He's actually, is it Masala? He's the one that is the Egyptian friend of Indiana Jones. and they're digging in the wrong place. And all the hobbits would keep saying that while they're filming Lord of the Rings, and he's like, yeah, very funny. Because, after 50 times, and he's 6 foot, he plays a dwarf, which is
that would just make you say it more, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's but he's 3 feet wide and 6.5 feet tall. He also voiced Treebeard. So, for those people who still play Trivia Pursuit, I think I've just given you a couple of wedges.
Put in those extra little wedges, those extra little triangle wedges.
Yeah. Actually, it's a joke from Doctor Who. Doctor Who reference. Clara said, I used to read the Trivial Pursuit cards so I could do better when I play them. Yeah, John Rhys Davies. Thank you, Flippy. Very good, man. And I think apparently they're bringing Sliders back, which is have you seen that show before? Do you know of it?
Was it a movie?
No, it was a TV show. And basically the idea is that what's his name? He's the fat kid in Stand By Me. He's married to John Stamos's wife. She played Mystique in the original X-Men movies. For a comedian, I can't really remember references.
White Collar. Sliders, 95 to 2000.
Yes.
Jerry O'Connell, Sabrina Lloyd.
There you go, Jerry O'Connell. Yeah. He creates this device that can go sideways in time to different realities, and so he's actually they're jumping through alternative timelines. And
so
of course,
you're not
they get
so much going forward or backwards, sideways.
No, it goes sideways, and so they enter a reality where JFK didn't get shot.
Do you run into yourself then at any point?
Yes, yeah. They point that out because Jerry goes to school and is like, well, you're a bit brave showing your face because at the same time,
after what happened,
yeah, because the other guy came in and started having a go at all that. It's good, but apparently that's coming back. I'm like, oh, interesting. I don't know. No, I don't know if Quantum Leap will come back because Dean Stockwell passed away, so we won't have. But
did he not sign away his visage before all that happened? Well, they wouldn't. I guess.
Probably. That's
you'd take him for free afterwards.
Yeah, that's how Hollywood works.
There's that funny. There's one movie, I don't know what it's called, so it's a great story, bro moment. But there's a movie where it talks about a big kind of animation agency taking interest in someone, in the waning years of an actress's career, and then offering to buy her visual rights, her face and kind of thing, so then they could recreate it in a digital sense for years to come. I don't know if that's actually happened yet, but
no, it does, because Carrie Fisher from Star Wars would make jokes about it, where I don't look like Princess Leia doesn't look like me. I look like Princess Leia, and I owe George a couple of bucks. And so every time I make a public appearance, I owe George a couple of bucks because they sign over, like in those with merchandising, you sign over your likeness. So, action figures or dolls, whatever you want to call them. That's, when you see yourself as an action figure, it's freaky, but you've signed away your likeness. So, Tom Baker, his likeness is the Fourth Doctor.
Assuming you get a cut every time someone makes a little action figure then as well.
Well, it depends on the contract. I recently watched, it was uploaded last year, but I don't know when it was recorded. It was a small, about 20 minutes long. It was Dave Chappelle. It's either called Unforgiven or from a special called Unforgiven. And he explains how he went to Netflix and Netflix listens to him, but Comedy Central and HBO Max are showing the Chappelle show, and he gets nothing because Comedy Central never paid him, because when he left, it was in the contract. You sign over your likeness for perpetuity all through the universe. That's the wording that they have. And
that's
so
pretty wide spanning.
Yeah, exactly. And so he basically saying like, I'm telling you, don't boycott the show, boycott me. Don't, because Chappelle gets nothing from what is it, 2.5 seasons, 3 seasons, and so if you watch it or you buy it, no money actually goes to Chappelle.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah, it's
like so many ripped off artists.
Yeah, same thing it's similar to the stories of McDonald's, how that started, and Coca-Cola. McDonald's was two brothers in California that actually created fast food because they had the assembly line, and you ordered something and you got it in less than a minute, and that was pretty fast back in the 60s. And then some git. There's a great film called The Founder, starring Michael Keaton. This guy that created McDonald's stole the idea from the McDonald brothers, and it's not actually about food; it's about real estate, and that's why McDonald's is so huge. It's a fascinating.
It's kind of like the Facebook story all over again.
In a way, yeah. It's like, oh, okay. Same thing with the Coca-Cola. This guy, not a snake oil salesman, but a salesman, created this formula of this drink, which included cocaine. Hey, put it back in, you bastards. And these two guys bought it from him, and they created the Coca-Cola company, and he just had a cart still. There's a lot of stories where someone invented it, and two business. Well, I think I just described Bill Gates.
So let's see here. Every single war was started with a false flag, and every major company that's been allowed to get ahead was ripped off someone else who actually made it. Is that what's going on?
Sort of, yeah. Well, I mean, with World War II, Standard Oil, they actually the German Luftwaffe, which is German for Air Force, I believe, flying people. One of the planes, Messerschmitts, I think it was, they could only run on a certain oil that was only created by Standard Oil, New York. And so I think they got charged for treason for aiding the enemy. Prescott
Is that where Bush came into play?
Yeah, Prescott Bush was charged with treason. He's the dad of George and the grandfather of George II. And Prescott Bush was also a mentor for Nixon.
Nothing shady there either.
Yeah.
I am not a crook.
I'm not a crook. I'm just. But he left. It's like Gladbag barbecue chicken. I'm being investigated because obviously it's there is a bit of corruption going on. I'm leaving because it's the right thing to do.
Audio of her being told. Audio of her saying, I don't need to hear that because I think that because obviously it's incriminating. Sorry, Dan Andrews.
He gets investigated by the same organisation in Victoria. No, I don't think I should leave.
Again, we've investigated ourselves and we've found no collusion or problem whatsoever.
Well, yeah, and I'm going to get his name right. He's Selmek or something like that. He's the one. Now, this quick history lesson with the pandemic bill. On Tuesday, only last Tuesday, they were pushing the bill through. There was a protest on Parliament House steps called Occupy Spring Street. They were there for about a week. And on Tuesday, because the government had the numbers, because they had 3 crossbenchers vote for the government. So I think it was 19 to 18. So the bill would pass the upper house and become law. And the opposition, which is the coalition, Liberal and the Nationals, they're trying to stop the debate. And it's like, no. And then Labor's like, oh, no, we have to rush this through because it has to be implemented now for the safety of Victorians.
It has to be rushed through in the dead of night. Oh, it's daytime.
Yeah, almost. On Wednesday, Selmek, if I get his name wrong, I do apologise. The senator who got thrown out of the Labor Party, the government, who's now an independent, he gives over his vaccination status and he's got double dose, so he can enter the chamber again to vote. And he basically said, I am going to vote against this bill because he put forward, doesn't matter who's in charge, it's too much power for the government.
It's ridiculous.
Wait, I'm only on Wednesday.
Wait, there's more.
Oh, yes. So on Thursday, they paused the bill because the government, the vote would have been 1919 and the bill wouldn't pass. And so the government paused it so they can try and persuade or threaten a couple of crossbenchers to get the numbers. 20 minutes later, Dan Andrew comes out and saying, oh, we're close to 90%, so anyone that's vaccinated, there's no restrictions. And it's just political theatre, and it's 2 days earlier, oh, we have to ram it through, and 48 hours later, oh, we don't have to rush. But the thing is, there's only one more week of sitting for Parliament in Victoria for the rest of the year, and the state of emergency runs out on December the 15th or 16th. And I'm wondering, do we legally go back to February 2020, which means all the pandemic legislation, the mandates and all that stuff becomes illegal?
It should be illegal.
So yeah, the government's on the back foot and they're crapping themselves. It was estimated numbers on the Saturday protest in Melbourne. Now in Melbourne, in the state, it's 6.6 million people live here, and I think Melbourne's around about 5 million, and 450,000 people turned up. So roughly,
it's just going to get bigger and bigger.
So roughly 10% of the voting base turned up to protest the government for their tyranny. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see how big it gets this week.
There's nothing that can be said that people want to hear. This is for everyone kind of watching, this is just a big one-off robbery by the people who had the shares in Pharma to get away from it, and we're stuck in this residue of stupidity.
And that's why the leaders are freaking out, like Jackie Lambie, the guy from Northern Territory, and Daniel Andrews. I think even the Queensland Premier is going a bit nuts. Nelly said Flippy, but I don't want to insult Flippy in the chat.
Yeah, fair call.
Yeah, righteous comedy. Yeah.
There's so many people taking a stand against this. So many people who can see it for what it is, and it's so not right.
Yeah,
it's so obviously not right.
Yeah, it's beyond silly, and we seem to be like a test case for the rest of the planet because, Austria is doing well now. Anyone remember the history of Austria? Like, who's a famous man that came out in the 20s and the early 30s from Austria?
Yeah, Austria likes,
Yeah. So they've locked down the unvaccinated, and there's footage of police walking through a department store doing random checks, papers please, to see if they're vaccinated. And then they've announced that the entire country mandatory has to have vaccinations by February.
I didn't hear that last bit. That's not cool.
Yeah, and I think Germany's thinking about doing the similar thing, and it's like the rest of the world, who the critical thinkers like Germany and Austria are doing this. Like, really? Do you read a history book at all? Like, why? Why?
Are you not looking further than just these two? It's a program. It's a program of profit.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, it's the pharmaceutical companies making billions. I think Pfizer made $47 billion last year.
News just came out this week. All the third boosters have been approved for.
Yeah, well, Dr. Fauci,
Didn't see
that clown, he's actually said, oh, it looks like the vaccines don't work, so you'll need a booster. And I know a lot of people that did the right thing. I think here in Victoria, about 30% of the people got it for health reasons. The other 60% got it because they wanted to go out to the beach and meet their mates in the pub. So they were coerced. They were threatened. If you don't get the vaccine, you don't get to earn money to pay rent or buy food or leave your house that you'll be thrown out of because you can't pay rent. So that's coercion. And so the boosters will be rolling out, I think, early next year. And a lot of people are going, well, what do I need a booster for? I did the right thing and being penalised. And
there's a lot of people drawing the line in the sand right there.
Yeah, it's the battle of wills that is happening. And it's kind of funny to see how they're called Dan bots, the people that Dan Andrews is doing a wonderful job, and I think he should be having a hard
time. Sometimes he cries himself to sleep.
Yeah, it's like all these anti-vaxxers. I mean, 90% of Victorians just want to get on with their life. And it's like, well, no, they didn't. Having a vax doesn't mean you are totally behind. Like, this is the right thing to do, because there's a lot of vaxxed people. It's more about the whole choice. They understand the tyranny of the government shouldn't be telling you what to do, and that's why. Did you know the tourism ad campaign for the Northern Territory?
Where the Kaya.
No, not that one. That was Scotty Morrison. That's for Australia.
Oh, see you in NT?
Yes, exactly. Yes, see you, like C, the letter C, the letter U in the Northern Territory, and so all the T-shirts and the caps have see you next Tuesday on, and it's like, oh,
big
chicken.
N, big
Yeah.
T.
Yeah, so it's like vagina written on all this stuff. But the chief minister's just lost. He's losing control, and so he's coming across where everyone should be vaccinated. It's a deadly disease, like the movie Pandemic, or no, Outbreak. What's the Matt Damon film? Contagion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an actual there should be that, because when you get that virus in that film, you die in 48 hours. We wouldn't be having the same problems now if we had people dying in 48 hours. But this one, there's a 99.97% chance of surviving it.
Basically, the sniffles rebranded.
Yeah, it's an aggro flu apparently. Now the thing is, what we're seeing now is you've had 2 years of fear from the media and the government, and so it's and also being locked down. It's worn everyone down. That's where everyone's a bit niggly, a bit testy, a bit aggro.
Aren't they? A bit niggly.
It's the tension, because they can't release the tension because they know something's wrong, and the spell of we're all going to die if you don't do anything is wearing off, because it's like, well, hey, you're full of crap. And we're going to
bar of it.
Yeah, so we're going to see politicians lose the collective minds on television and everything else like that. And at some point,
sounds spectacular, but I'm sure it won't be.
Well, you're familiar with Benjamin Fulford at all?
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. I have no idea. It to me, it's like, oh, that's another timeline. I don't know how much of it's true.
It's entertaining, and he does gather some interesting independent articles from different places and draws them together.
Yeah, so you don't follow him 100% rote, because it's like, well, that's not happening. However, it's fascinating what information is there, and it is entertaining. So if you look now, I'm not disrespecting Ben, because I don't think he really tweaks much of it, but it's the information he's given, if I can say it that way.
I think it's super interesting. Yeah, it's just seeing the information that he's collated.
Yeah, but he was mentioning what's happening now is very similar to what happened when the Soviet Union collapsed.
Go on.
Back in '89. Around 90, around that time, where the controllers are losing control and they're panicking, and social cohesion slowly falling apart. Well, actually, no, we're not going into a Mad Max world, but economically, the cooked books are on fire, and you've got the supply chain crap, which is manufactured. Like, we may, if it works out well, whatever happens, we could go back to sort of normalcy in 2 weeks, where the electricity would still be on. You could actually still buy bread, be food and all that. I mean, there'll probably be trials or something like that. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I don't see us all wearing mohawks and trying to fight for fuel in 3 weeks.
No,
because most of us are nice, and this is where, there is an element of hope and faith and so on and so forth, but there are white hats working against the black hats, because they could have done you could even, as an example, go back to, was it 62, where like the Bay of Pigs and Kennedy and Khrushchev, I think his name is, where the Soviets moved nuclear weapons to Cuba, which means they could reach the United States.
Much closer.
So yeah, that could have been World War III. In one timeline, we wouldn't exist because everyone got irradiated. But here we are. So you know what I mean?
Back to sliders.
Yeah, well, in a way. And that's what I think, still there's all the chicanery, scumbaggery, as Vinnie Eastwood would say.
Love Vinnie.
Well, apparently New Zealand, just quickly with talking about Vinnie, it is illegal to have dissent or comment on what the government's doing about the pandemic.
So you can't comment on YouTube?
You can't go on YouTube.
You can't have a satire show?
I don't know, but if Kiwi police rock up to my door, I'll let you know.
Special interest squad.
Yeah, apparently you can't. The protests are illegal. You can't talk at a protest, and you can't actually go onto social media and sort of denounce the government.
Wow.
Yeah. Nothing sus. Bloody flies. That's an Australian term, ladies and gentlemen. Bloody flies.
They're not actually bloody.
No, but they're a pain in the neck. Oh, Flippy, no, we're not being irradiated. Well, it depends if you stand next to a microwave, but oh no, I read that. Guess what? We are being irradiated. Yeah, but we're still here. Once again, it's amazing what humans can live through. So yeah,
I don't think microwaves are that cool.
So yeah, I mean, like in the conspiracy world, there's the term "okay doomer." It's okay, doomer.
I did it. That was fucking hilarious. Language.
Loving, yes. So like, it's okay to hear this stuff, but don't give it too much energy. It's more of a warning, and so. Just like also this may upset a couple of our American cousins, and because you're both bloody Anzacs, you know how I'm tired of hearing like, oh, you Australians lost all your guns. If I hear that again, I'm going to buy a gun and find you. All right, but I realise it's like, look at Australia.
What was the context for the comment?
Well, it's all the tyranny that's happening, but they're trying. It's not full-blown tyranny. But my thinking was, it's like,
is the argument that the tyranny would not have got so far if we had automatic weapons?
Yeah, if we had automatic weapons, we would fight back. And my brain finally clicked in, or my higher self was like, okay, we'll give it to him now. It's like, you Australians lost all your guns. It's like, really? All you Americans have guns and have done nothing with them.
Yeah, isn't it the stupidest of stupid comments? I mean, none of this is going to get solved by just taking a bullet and blowing someone's head off.
No, that's the thing is like, the Team Dark, they want something like that so they can crank down. They want people to be irrational and
revolt. Here's the gun. Here, we'll give you bricks so we can tighten the screws. Yeah, go throw the brick.
And also, and you can see that with the gun owners of the United States. I've said it a couple of times. If they really were gun nuts, that everyone said, oh, the Americans are gun nuts and they're insane, blah blah blah, they would have revolted back in the 1920s or the 1930s. Because a quarter of the country all have weaponry. It's like, I think a lot of true gun owners are clenching their collective jaws and just like, argh. But if the government steps over the line, they're in trouble. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm actually giving praise to the gun owners because you could snap and just go nuts. It's just either the false flags or idiots.
One could.
Yeah.
One could snap.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, because we're dealing with humans. So,
they're fun. They're fun. America goes kind of gung ho. When you think of monster trucks and stuff like that, and
they go big.
And when you think, all that kind of stuff. But really, I mean, shooting guns is a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, it's it's been part of our collective consciousness. What's the joke that we should go to war? Well, we've done that for 5,000 years. Let's try something else.
Yeah, it doesn't really sell much.
Yeah, and also, I could, on a dark timeline, we could have the Second French Revolution, and that went real dark, real quick, where they removed the tyrannical side of things, but they had that bloodlust. It's like, let's kill everybody. Everyone got scared, so we don't want that level. And so, like when Stephen Crowder, fight like hell. It doesn't mean sandbags out on the front lawn and have a howitzer on the lawn so, your local sheriff won't go anywhere near you. There are other ways of doing it. And I think, and as I said, Team Dark wants that basic, they've tried for civil war, they've tried the race war, they've tried so many things, even like the pandemic. You're all listening to this. You know that it's not working, and you're living with it in that perception.
They're still in that meeting that's been going on all night. Had to order takeout just to keep it on going. Anyone got any ideas? Come on, this is supposed to be a brainstorm session. Anyone feel the Anyone got any ideas?
Well, I mean, yeah, they're still using the same playbook from 1642. Well, why isn't this working? I don't know. We've done
it once or twice.
Yeah, I mean, and then you've got as an example of the stupidity of the media, Real Rushgan, who basically is an independent journalist. He's a wedding video guy that basically had to shut his business down because of lockdowns, and so he was doing memes at the start, but then he decided to go and live stream the protests, and so it's 6 hours long. The thing is, by watching it, most of it's peaceful until the police turn up and they start something, and then all of a sudden, they're violent protests. The thing is, when you watch the mainstream media's report for 30 seconds or a minute and a half, they just show certain things out of context. But a lot of people see Rushgan's live streaming, and they see the truth. Like, now,
it's amazing to watch the full edit.
Yeah, because I mean, he's a human, so there's not an agenda, but there's a bias, because he agrees with the protesters, but he also he supports the police at the same time, and he'd rather not be there. But he's just showing how the media is the enemy of the people, because it's not edited and bite-sized, and anti-vaxxers are all violent. It's like, well, there's people, it's pro-choice, and they were standing still until a policeman hit them in the head with a billy club.
How do we forget that anything, that the 24-hour media cycle is just too much for anything, and for anything really to happen, and at that point you're starting to make stuff up.
Well, that comes down to what you actually want to share. Like, you could have a 24-hour cable network. I mean, look at the planet.
Full of fluffy cats.
Probably, yeah. Or there was an accident here, or this person was arrested and blah blah blah. But because they've got a narrative, they can only stick to it. I use the analogy that if a wrong bit of information comes out, there's a crack in the dam, and the whole facade crashes down. Because just look what happened to Kyle Rittenhouse, where for a year they judged that he was a white supremacist who went to across state lines to hunt and kill black men. Now, apart from crossing state lines to go to his family, and 2 months after watching half the country burn, he went to defend businesses who he was asked by, I think they're two Indians, like actual India, not Native American. And it's like, and he shot 3 white people. He's one of the worst white supremacists on the planet. He helps out non-whites and shoots 3 white people in self-defense.
Where are the white people that he shot?
Let's see. Well, one was a convicted pedophile.
That is true, that information about them.
Yeah. Another one was just let out that day for, I don't think it was a mental institution, but he was in jail. And this
were they taken to this event by bus?
I'm not sure, but they did travel. They're not actually from Kenosha. They were imported in. If they're 50 miles away, they've never been there. Kyle's there all the time because he's got family that lives there in a business.
Yeah.
And it's just really weird that some people didn't watch the trial at all. And they're, how like George Floyd's a saint to certain people. They're actually, Rosenbaum and Gretzky, not Gretzky, Griskin, or anyway, the 2 that got killed. Like, these poor men were shot dead, and it's like, well, he's a pedophile and he beats women. You know what I mean? It's like, this is the scum of the earth.
It's kind of comic.
You're deifying, if that's the right word. You know what I mean? You put him up on a pedestal. Like, it's like George Floyd. I don't wish he died. I wish he stayed alive. But when you take 11 times over the killing dose of fentanyl and then go to a convenience store and try and pass off a counterfeit $20 bill to get cigarettes, he's not an innocent victim.
Yep,
yeah, and I'm not judging. I'm judging his character, not his skin. I know, kind of wacky. But then you have you remember David Dawn? Is it David Dawn? Grandfather, ex-police, was checking on a friend's pawn shop, shot in the back of the head while being live and died on Facebook live stream.
Oh, I remember that.
Exactly, Scoff Tops. That's right, Scoffy. Aw.
Is that the name of your cat?
Yeah, well, I didn't name her, but yes, her name is Scoff Chops. Yeah, that's right. Say hello to the lovely people at home, Scoffy. Yeah, now you're quiet. All right, thank you. But yeah, she's been sleeping on the table for the last hour and 40 minutes. Now she's awake.
Little tinkle.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Scoff Chops, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, comments from the cat. So yeah, I mean, George Floyd, this got a big statue in New York, and someone threw paint over it because it's like he shouldn't have died. I believe there's no proof of racism. I believe Chauvin, the police officer, knew him, but it's a local town type thing. But he was actually following the guidelines of the police force. Because Crowder actually showed that exact move has been used here in Australia with the protests.
Which one? What are you talking about?
By putting the knee on the back of between the shoulder blades.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've seen this footage here that's happened during the for the lockdowns, which is more heinous than what happened to George Floyd.
Yeah, one of them is just one guy that you see from a reasonably long distance kind of telephoto lens, and it's this guy kind of running off the main street. He's kind of running down a residential street, ends up in an alleyway, and there's about a dozen cops chase him and just belt into him. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and
plus the other one where the guy was kind of, I guess there was no ammunition in the gun because he wouldn't use the gun like that, but using the end of the barrel to kind of pointedly jab down at this guy's kind of spine,
or near the kidney or something like that. Yeah, from the back. Yeah,
you'd think that could paralyze someone if you hit a disc.
Yeah, or shatter vertebrae, or like infect the puncture the kidney or something ridiculous like that. They're heavy-handed. There's people that use the protesters were at the Shrine of Remembrance. Well, they were trying to get away from the police because the police are nuts, and they ended up at the shrine. And the fallen, because it's a war memorial, those diggers, they're called diggers, the soldiers that died would have invaded Victoria about 18 months ago because the shocking treatment that the regime has over the people.
I saw a picture of a digger. I don't know how old he is. I thought all our Anzacs were gone, but he was an old dude. He had an army hat on, and he was kind of sitting with the public, like in support of all this ridiculousness.
Yeah, gentlemen, I think we're the elderly veterans are now from World War II, and he got up and spoke. He had his slouch hat and all his medals. Needs a walker. And just basically saying, getting all the veterans should be against this because this is the type of thing that we fought against. This is what
we fought for, yeah.
We fought for freedoms. Now the thing is, the other side, the tards, they think that we freely should just bandy around and get everyone sick. It's not that. It's here in Victoria at least, it's been it's a tragedy of errors, where the government's response to this health crisis is completely wrong.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous incompetence.
Yeah, I mean, for starters, most treatments have been banned, so you can't help that. Japan, they actually allowed ivermectin to be used, and guess what happened to their cases? It dropped dramatically. There are stuff out there, but because ivermectin, not the horse paste, I know no one listening would fall for that. But when you meet someone, you mean the horse paste? It's like, wow, the media did a number on you.
Yeah, what won the Nobel Prize in
for
1819?
2019. Yeah, or 2015 or something like that. It's been used for decades, and it's helped millions of humans. There is a version of horse paste, but everyone because these media types and blue check marks thinks that everyone's a dumbass. They tried horse paste. If you tried horse paste, Yeah, you've got to take responsibility for that. Like, Joe Rogan had it with a lot of other things. Tim Pool got COVID, had ivermectin, and a lot of other things as well. Tim Pool just keeps stating because there's people wishing him dead because he survived. He always says, go to your doctor. If the doctor is allowed to prescribe ivermectin, take it. But it's also zinc, and it's not a cocktail, but it's a mixture of 3 different or 4 different things. There's stuff that actually can help it fight COVID. But ivermectin is public domain now, and so it's really cheap, so anyone can make it. And I think Pfizer, they've got a new drug that's coming out with a patent, and it'll probably be 700% more expensive. But it's basically ivermectin with a different name.
They kind of jumped on that patent pretty quick, huh?
Yeah, so I mean, we're in the final quarter of Planet Collingwood. So this is not the funny part. This is what we do. We do all the jokes in the first half and then talk about information in the second half.
Then it's time for oranges. I mean lemons.
No. Why would you? No, you don't suck on a lemon, you idiot. You have oranges at halftime.
It's like one of those massive sour lemons, but in real life.
Like when Homer eats the most sourdough, whatever. And he's whole. Who ate the sourest gumdrop? It wasn't me.
These chilies were made by crazed lunatics from an asylum.
Yes, yeah, a bit of peyote. Oh, so there you go. But it's just, I came up with the idea and I did some workshopping. It's spiritual. We're part of Spiritual Anonymous. Hello, my name's Monty. I live in the now. One day at a time, ladies and gentlemen. One day at a time.
One day at a time.
You live your life, and if it gets too much, turn off the internet. Read a book. Watch a comedy. Even if you watch a drama from 1985. You don't have to. You can take a day off from the insanity. It's not like you come back and it's like, wait, Emperor Biden wants to kill all the children. What happened? It's not gonna change that
crazy
quickly.
Guy's at it again. Yeah, big projects. Don't give up. Just know when to take a little break.
And from a positive aspect, just start to be self-sufficient. Like where I get government things like, well, find your passion, find your hobby, find a way of sustaining yourself, and it's about community as well. Find dare I say, go meet your neighbors.
Yeah.
And you'd be amazed because everything's so centralized. However, that's the one thing in 2020, a lot of people didn't have that 40-hour-a-week job as a distraction. So I'm just going to watch that documentary that very funny man on Revolution Radio said. And and like, oh, my God. So there's that political awakening to the corruption. And, the media is being caught lying and making things, just lying. And this is where we are now, where, like here in Victoria, it's different in New South Wales. It's very localized in their plan. But for the last 2-3 weeks, the Premier is calling all the protesters far-right Nazi extremists. And more people came out because they were offended because I agree with the protesters, but I don't think I should go. Especially with the Victorian police with their responses.
Not going to get branded by your narrative or care about it. Yeah,
and you actually see footage of people there. It was basically a sample pack of society. The Greeks, Italians, Sudanese, across the board. It's like someone actually shared a photo of Rushgan with, I think he's a Croatian and a guy from Sudan, and it's like apparently. Neo-Nazi white supremacists are going in blackface. It doesn't make sense. How can they be all extremists when they just want to be free? They're twisting that where you're selfish because you want freedom. It doesn't mean I'm going to get infected by COVID and run through a retirement village and rub up against grandpa.
But you could.
Well, I could, yeah, but I could fall over and hit my head. So should I wear a bike helmet for the rest of my life?
All the time.
Yeah.
No, that's silly. That's silly. Yeah. It's ridiculous. And an idiocracy meter just walking down the street, seeing who's by themselves walking down the street still with a mask on.
Yeah, but the thing is, sorry, go ahead.
No, it was just that.
Yeah, okay. But I've seen footage of I think it was in Japan. I don't know where it was, but someone showed it on shared it on Twitter. Heels versus Babyface for those who watch As. He's got a YouTube channel. He talks about modern culture, but he shared we need to have more human decency. There was an old woman and she was trying to cross a road, but the traffic weren't stopping. So not a bicycle gang, but a gang of not a bikie gang, but a gang of people on bikes. I mean, they're probably scooters or mopeds, but there's about 10 or 15 of them, and they stop. And two of them walk over and actually, like the classic Boy Scout thing, they actually help the old lady across the road.
Yeah, you should help people. Most
exactly.
People are nice like that.
And I saw another footage that apparently a driver became unconscious for whatever, but the car's still going on a freeway. And a guy actually positioned he sacrificed his car to stop the car that was out of control.
People are awesome. This is like one of those people are awesome compilations.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like most of us are nice. If we're pushed into survival mode and we get angry, we can be dicks. We've been there, but we haven't burned down a church. We're not that metal, but my point being, I need promotion from my black metal band. Oh, let's burn down a church. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Not just one church, all the churches.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Christianity, but don't burn down a 400-year-old building. You wouldn't go anyway. Those wacky Norwegians. Yeah. But it's basically the whole thing about. Be nice to each other. We can live together, and if you leave everyone alone, that's the other thing. Like the Clint Eastwood's popped up a lot because he actually said, even as a child, I didn't like people telling other people what to do. If you leave everyone alone, most of the time, and obviously it's not like I'm going to have a rave in my unit at 3 a.m. with 212 decibel. If you have common decency with other people where you do no harm, which is like a spiritual rule in the universe, if you try not to do harm, we'll all get along.
I was thinking of Clint Eastwood as a 5-year-old when the teacher told him what to do.
What do you mean I have to sit down?
You got to ask yourself one question.
What do you mean it's nap time?
It's time to put the crayons down now.
Who's we, sucker? No, that's the other guy. Me, Smith and Weston. So, yeah, and he's a good director. He's like in his 90s, and he's doing quite well. It'll be a shame when he shuffles off his Mortal Coil.
I liked a couple of things that he did, directed and started.
Gran Turismo. Have you seen
Turismo? Is kind of cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Not Gran Turismo, it's something like that.
Gran Torino, it's the car. Yeah, Torino. It's the car. Yeah. Unforgiven's awesome. Hit and miss depending on, but most of the stuff he does, if it floats your boat, it's awesome. So
he's awesome.
Yeah, there you go. So we've got about 2 to 3 minutes to go. So you've been listening to Revolution Radio. This is Planet Collingwood. My name's Monty Dean. If you enjoyed the last 2 hours, please donate to the station so we can continue on because we're 100% listener supported, 100% volunteer. If you just like me because I'm super awesome and you're on the YouTube, just go to my channel page and click on the PayPal and slip me a shekel here and there and I can buy food because it's going outrageously. And I'll just share it. And
where is that? Where is that page? What is that page called?
Wafer Thin Entertainment. Well, if you're watching the video, you just click on the thing. So, but yeah, Wafer Thin Entertainment. And I hope we made you laugh and we do a pleasant distraction and just sharing some information through the lens of a comedy. And yeah, so there you go. Now, Cortek, have you spoken to your best bud over there? The Pony Pones, and will you be continuing on afterwards?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Pones is doing. If he's keen, I'm keen to do an hour. It's hard to do two because there's no break and there becomes bladder pressure.
Ooh.
Not like I got like a
microphone sound.
A tire.
Well, you can monologue, like, you know, Pony can go for 5 minutes while you take a whiz, and then, if Pones needs to go, he'll probably just take the microphone with him. But, there's options, people.
Am I coming through?
Yep.
We can hear you, yes. Just putting it out there.
But you're not listening.
What?
Hearing. I can hear you. You're all right.
Yes, and remember, when you meet someone and say, I have an affliction, I have premature ejaculation, you respond with, come again?
Too soon.
Or not. So there you go. So we're just a bit of padding till the music starts. So there you go. Thank you for a lovely chat, gentlemen. That 2 hours went by quite well. I mean, my cat was asleep for over 3/4 of it, so everyone wins. So
I like hearing from Cat.
Yeah, Lady Scoffington. So yeah, I have many names for her. Scoff, Cranky Pants. She has the quietest purr but the loudest meow, and she's we sometimes communicate, but other times I have no idea what she's saying. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. That was Planet Collingwood. Thank you, ball boys. Thank you, ball girls. Thank you, all the men, all the women, all the children. Thank you, chat. We'll see you all soon. I love you from afar, but that's because the court said so. We'll be back in 6 days and 22 hours. See you soon.